Hello, I'm Joy, Head of Learning and Development for Neander Marine, and very pleased to have Tom Hewson with us, who is Head of Production and provides after-sales support for Neander. Tom has 23 years experience in the diesel, outboard and automotive industry, specialising in the management of technical support, prototype manufacturing, assembly and engine building. Thank you, Tom, for talking to us about installation today.
Hey Joy, yeah, thank you. It'd be great to take you guys through the installation.
Fantastic. Let's get started.
Okay,
So here I can see that we're going to be looking at different types of installations, a single and a twin. Also, you'll be telling us about installation kits, additional requirements, and optional extras. So let's move on.
okay,
Can you tell us what we're looking at here, Tom?
absolutely. So this is one of the first kits we offer to carry out a single installation for the D-Talk 50. So this is a tiller handle set which fits directly to the outboard to control your steering, shift and throttle all in one package.
Okay, thank you. And you mentioned the fuel filter is also provided with all installation kits, and this fuel filter attaches to the boat?
Correct, yeah, this is the vessel side filter which is provided in all the installation kits. This also has a water and fuel sensor in it just to detect if you've got any water in your diesel.
Great, thank you. Shall we look at the next type of installation?
Yeah, let's move on. So the next type of single installation that we offer is a side mount remote control. So you'd use this kind of installation kit if you're using your own steering system and you have say a smaller helm station where you can fit the side mount control. This can be mounted on the right hand side or the left hand side, suiting the vessel and the operator.
Oh, great.
In addition to this, you'll also see that we've got two gauges down there. So we offer a tacho gauge. This supplies key engine data and also a fuel gauge to show you how much fuel you've got left in your tank.
Great, thank you. And I noticed that the throttle control has a kill cord built in. Is that right? The red
Absolutely,
kill cord?
yes, it does. And also the ignition switch.
Okay.
Again, suiting that kind of vessel with a smaller helm station where you haven't really got the space for separate controls. It's all nicely packaged in one control.
Great, thank you. And the next type is a top mount remote control. Shall we move on to that one?
Absolutely, let's have a look. So here you can see that the control is slightly different. As you say, it's now a top mount control, also for a single installation. And the main difference here is that it's got a more vertical position and also a separate key switch and kill cord. So this will suit vessels with a slightly larger helm station. They've got a bit more real estate to mount some controls. As you'll see, it also comes with the same tacho gauge and fuel meter, so you can keep an eye on your outboard hours, load, and any sort of key parameters that we need to monitor, such as oil temperature and pressure and water temperature.
Thanks very much, Tom. That's really important to mention. Thank you. And the next one is a twin installation. Let's move on to that one.
So here we have the only installation kit we offer for a twin installation. It's a top mount, like the previous one, but we can control both outboards here via one control unit. Otherwise, we just double up on switch panels, tachos, and fuel gauges if you're running separate tanks, that is, for each outboard.
Great, thanks very much. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
Okay. Okay, so what we just saw on the previous slides was the main items in the installation kits that the operator will see and use on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
However, in each installation kit, we also offer all of the essential items to install the outboard. So starting off with fuel system components, we supply fuel hose and the vessel side fuel filter with the water and fuel sensor in it as well.
Okay, that's good. A question actually that we're often asked by prospective customers is whether they can use their existing fuel system on a boat that carried gasoline engines before. Can their boats be repowered in this way?
Yes, absolutely. You can
Yeah.
repower a previous gasoline installation with the D-50, but we do need to make some modifications on the fuel system side.
Okay.
Now, being diesel, the D-50 requires a dedicated return line from the fuel system. So we just need to carry out some modifications to the fuel tank to allow a separate fuel feed to the outboard and also a fuel return back to the tank. And if we were going to run two engines, we need to make sure that we have two separate feeds and two separate returns. At no point can we have these teed together.
Really important point. Thank you.
So moving on to the rest of the kit, we offer the hardware to connect the control cables up to your chosen control head and to the outboard. We don't currently offer the cables themselves, just due to vessel variation and lengths, but it's something we're looking to introduce as we go forwards. We supply a transom bolt kit to mount the outboard to your transom, the rigging grommet to allow all of the control cables, fuel system to come through the cowling into the outboard. We offer the adapter for flushing the outboard out, and all of the hardware to mount your chosen propeller, whether that be aluminium or a stainless steel propeller. And we also offer the steering sort of arm hardware. So this allows you to install your chosen industry standard steering system and also a link arm if you're running two engines.
Okay.
And lastly, we supply the battery cables. So we supply these in a 2.5 meter length, just because this is sort of an optimum distance for the battery to be installed to the outboard. If that doesn't suit your installation and you need to move your battery further away, then get in touch with us here, and we can advise on a battery system to suit your vessel. It might mean that we need to maybe increase the cable size so we don't get a voltage drop and cause the end user problems.
Okay, thanks very much, Tom. A really important point there about the length of the battery cables when installing the engine onto the boat. Thanks very much. Let's move on to the next slide. So here, Tom, I can see additional installation requirements, and there's a number of things like propellers and batteries. So these are items that don't come in the installation kits. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Mostly due to vessel variation. We can't offer a standard propeller. It's because vessel size and weight massively affects what propeller size you would run. Similarly with the battery, it's tricky to ship effectively batteries around the world. So that's why we ask you to source these items locally. But yeah, also required for the installation is a suitable charging diode. This is to ensure that the outboard charges the house system correctly. And we always recommend that you separate the house system from the outboard system to ensure that the vessel has redundancy in case of any power issues on either system.
And the house system is the systems on the boat?
Correct, right? Yeah, that's everything which isn't the outboard. So maybe it's your steering system. If you've got electric power steering, it might be your navigation system, your radio. If you had, say, a problem with your outboard and you had to kill the power to that system, and your radio is connected to that power source, you can no longer radio for help. So it's always good to have redundancy.
Okay, really important. Thank you.
So yeah, moving on, a correctly rated sort of IP rated battery switch. We see a lot of problems on some installations that sort of a non-IP rated battery switch has been installed and getting corrosion inside them. So do ensure that you source a good quality battery switch and also mount it in a suitable location. Next up, if you're using a remote control system, you'll need to provide your own steering system. You'll need to supply your control cables and also carry out the modifications to your fuel tank to accept a return or put in a new tank with a dedicated fuel feed and fuel return.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks very much. Let's move on to the next slide.
Yeah, let's move on.
Here I can see some optional extras which customers can purchase. Do you want to talk us through some of these, Tom?
Yeah, so first up, you'll see some extension cables. So maybe if your helm station on your vessel is right at the front and you need to extend maybe the key switch and the tacho harnesses, we offer these in a 7, 9 and 11 meter length to suit your vessel. Next up, we offer 3 variations of fuel tank. We have a portable 25 litre fuel tank, and then we have a fixed fuel tank in a 40 and 60 litre size. And these have the correct dedicated fuel feed and return line to suit the diesel system on the DTORQ 50. Then we offer a propeller guard. This comes with all the mounting hardware and a template to allow you to install it. And if you need any extra fuel hose, we can supply that as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tom. Well, that's been really, really interesting and very useful to hear from you about the installation of the DTORQ and the additional items that customers will need to purchase separately to what's provided in the installation kits, as well as these optional extras. So thank you very much for going through this with us. It's much appreciated.
No problem. It's my pleasure.